Hi ladies, welcome to the Feminine Mystery. My name is Azalea Dawn, and on this channel I discuss elegance, femininity, and leveling up to attract the right masculine provider for you. If that sounds right for you, then please consider subscribing and hit the like button to share this message with more like-minded women. Today's video is all about where to start your level up journey without any money. So one of the things that I understand is that, a lot of advice when it comes to leveling up is all about spending money, but in reality, you have multiple resources that you can spend to attack problems. You have, I like to think of it in three categories here. You have time, you have effort, right, like energy, and then you have money. So if you want to tackle a task that requires like a lot of time but very little energy, that might be something like reading, for example. Whereas if you want to tackle a task that maybe requires, a little bit more energy on your part, but not so much time, right? That might be like exercise. It might be like running, because it's going to save you a lot of time, but it's going to cost you a lot of energy. So you really have to look at it like that. You have multiple resources available to you, and I'm going to talk about things that you can do without necessarily spending money that will involve spending more time and energy on your part to work on your level up journey. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, the first thing that you can do is work on your mindset and your education. Now, ladies, when I say your education, of course, there is college education, there's just being in school, and that is oh so important because that's really going to set a lot of the foundation of the rest of your level up journey. You don't want to be the girl who doesn't know the difference between like a and an, right, articles in a sentence, right? You don't want to be the person who's saying like a egg instead of an egg. But there are multiple forms of education here, especially when it comes to your mindset. So one example of that is working on your emotions. Like, do you have negative framing in situations such that you feel like it's not possible to get this, affluent man who is willing to be a financial provider for you? Or do you feel like you have to like trick people or con them into doing this kind of thing for you? Maybe you have some sort of baggage from past relationships where maybe you were cheated on, and that's causing behaviors today where you treat men with contempt and suspicion, right? So like you have to look at things like therapy as a form of your education, right? Because you're going to learn in therapy how to better handle situations so that when you are faced with them again in the future, you have more tools at your disposal to handle this in a better way. That's a form of your education. And you also want to again be working on your mindset, right? Leveling up from the inside, beginning to free your mind and believe that it's possible for you to achieve the things that you want. Because at the end of the day, if you have a sort of predisposed idea that it's not possible to get to where it is that you want to go, then you might as well not even start the journey. So you want to start to understand what's possible and really believe that more and better is possible for you, so that you put the best effort into your level up from the very beginning. The next thing that you can do is start to take inventory and consider all of your current strengths and your weaknesses. So ladies, this is one thing that is really important for a level up journey. You want to start to really assess where you are and what you have going for you versus what you have working maybe against you, like areas where you can improve. And I understand that it can be a bit harsh to look at yourself like this. We're not really we're not necessarily looking to be our own worst critics all the time. I think that's a bit of a saying, but in reality, we don't really want to harshly criticize ourselves, but we need to be honest. Where's our body at? Are we maybe a bit older in age, or are we maybe still benefiting from a lot of youth? Are we still very young? Do we have, like amazing, beautiful eyes and a great nose and, this beautiful long hair? Or do we maybe like need some assistance in that department? What does our skin look like? What does our, what's our situation with like excess body hair? What's our situation with like our weight and our body composition? Do we maybe need to take up a physical activity to make sure that we're being more active in terms of our lifestyle, right? This is the kind of thing that you want to start thinking about right now, and just start taking inventory of your strengths and your weaknesses, because over time, like as you begin to understand that more intimately, which is just going to require, sitting with yourself in silence and thinking about it, but also reaching out to family and friends and asking, what it is that they think about you. If there's, anybody that you really trust in your life, maybe consider like asking them how they feel like you might be able to improve yourself in terms of your appearance, improve yourself in terms of your even personality, if that's something you're looking to do, right? Understanding that more and more is going to help you really target your level up journey in the best way. The next thing you want to do, and this might be a bit more controversial, but I'm going to recommend that you get a starter boyfriend. Now, before this even gets misconstrued in a very in a negative way, I can already see like some random like male misogynist like looking up femininity content and coming over here to like comment how this is like using men and da 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 da. I just want to start right off by saying that you cannot force somebody to do something that they don't want to do, right? I believe in mutual reciprocal and loving relationships between two consenting adults. If that is something that you agree with, then that is what it is. In terms of that, I think that we need to be honest about the fact that there are a lot of men who you're not taking advantage of them by considering them a starter boyfriend. At the end of the day, not every man that's going to date you wants to walk down the aisle with you. Not all of them want to get married to you. And that doesn't mean that they are necessarily time wasters, right? I would classify a time waster more so as a guy who does not have it in his disposal whatsoever to really improve your life in any way, or even if he does have it at his disposal, if he does have the resources to do that, he does not want to do that. I would say that in terms of getting a starter boyfriend, this might be somebody who he has the capacity to provide for you, but he's not necessarily looking for anything long term. So you are going to want to be in that relationship in a way that's mutually beneficial to both him and you. You're providing him the opportunity to be with you, right? Like he gets to have the kind of woman that he wants to have a relationship with, which is you. You are in his eyes better than the rest. At the same time, it might not be the most permanent thing. So you want to make sure to use situations like that to your advantage and get him to make sure that you're getting him to invest in you. Make sure that he's taking you on all the trips that you want to go on. Make sure that when you're with him that you're expanding your social network, so that just like with your professional network, when you're looking for a job in the future, you have somewhere to go, somewhere to start from in order to get a jump start in that process. When you're with your starter boyfriend, you want to be expanding your social network such that you can get a head start on dating affluent men when your relationship with this one is currently over, comes to an end, excuse me. So you want to make sure that you are traveling to wherever you want to go, that he is supporting your lifestyle in some way. Maybe that means that he is covering some portion of your expenses. Maybe that means that even though you're not going to get married, that you live together and he's assuming all of the living expenses. Whatever that looks like for you, having a starter boyfriend, in my opinion, is a great place to start getting those initial investments. The next thing that you want to do is start to work on your reputation. And ladies, this is one of the most important things in your level up journey. This is something that you don't want to cut corners on, and you want to start as early as possible, because your reputation truly is everything when it comes to your level up and the opportunities that you're going to have. And having, a great history of having had a good reputation for a long time, that is really going to serve you in your level up journey. So you want to start really at the beginning, starting to workshop your reputation among the people that you know in your life right now, and really take an inventory of what it is that other people think about you. Do they think that you are hardworking, beautiful, brilliant, or do they think that maybe you're like a little bit, like loose in terms of your morals, that you're maybe, you know, somebody who has a tendency towards like less than classy behavior? Are they telling unflattering stories about you to other people? That's the kind of thing that you want to work on very early. And you want to be vicious when it comes to thinking about who it is that you're going to allow in your life going forward, because you really want to start to think about what people have the capacity to do. You don't want to bring that evil eye forward on you going forward, right? You don't want people in your life who are unhappy for you, or who are going to see you in, like, I don't know, like a Mercedes or like a Bentley, and then start to spread nasty rumors about you. You don't want the people who are going to be, you know, jealous or mean or nasty, or who are going to try to bring you down by telling, you know, like unflattering stories to other people around you. Because one of the things that a lot of ladies don't understand, but I've seen this be an issue in more affluent relationships quite a couple of times, well, not quite a couple, quite a few times at this point. But when it comes to a woman who has a bad reputation, it's just, you know, an uphill battle for a man. And that can be a reason that you wind up not getting a proposal, not getting a ring in the end. So you really want to make sure to pay attention to your reputation. Lastly, I want to advise you to make a plan and begin to execute it. So when it comes to your level up journey, I understand that it can be overwhelming figuring out where to start, especially if you don't currently have money to just, you know, throw out your problems. But you want to make a plan and start to execute it and just get that momentum going early. You don't want to sit on this for too long and just like let the moment pass or anything like that. The sooner that you start to take action, the better. So even if you are looking at some of the items in this video, right, like getting a starter boyfriend, beginning to workshop your reputation, just sit down and make a plan for how it is that you might go about that, how it is that you can go about finding a boyfriend who can make those initial investments in your lifestyle, how it is that you can go about, you know, starting to figure out like where you stand with other people in terms of your social reputation, and getting yourself into a position where you're working on your education. Just make sure that you start somewhere and you will take this journey very seriously from the beginning, in terms of, you know, making a plan, committing to taking action, and sticking with it. Because over time, you're definitely going to get very far with what it is that you're trying to do. As long as you are just taking those consistent steps forward, you are ultimately going to wind up at your destination. Alright ladies, so that is going to be it for me today. If you've enjoyed this video, then please leave a like below, and please feel free to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!